Hi guys, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Anyway, we're going to be going over Nemcast. No, we're not. Fuck! I'm having a minute. Hey folks, welcome to episode 35 of Nemcast. Today we're joined by BT from Dead Drop Co. We're going to be going over Kingdom Clash 2 and the second part to it, really. It's the second episode of it.
Yep,
and it's
game plan.
Yeah, exactly. We're going over the game plan, the battle sim.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're going to have a quick ad break for Dead Drop Co. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, I'm BT Dead Drop Co. I'm here at Nemcast Studios where I've just done an episode of the podcast. I've just thought I'd give you a quick plug about Dead Drop Co. and what's coming. So as you can see, for all the stuff and Chester the Bullfrog, we've just done our first drop. So if you missed out on that, sucks to be you. But it's okay, we've got big things coming. As you can see, what John's going to flash up a nice little picture here, we are running a subscription service and we're already planning the next few drops for the next year. So stay tuned, check out our Instagram, and we hope to see you in the new year.
And we're back. So, let's start off with, so obviously people are going to get their Friday, get tent set up, all that good stuff, get signed and chronoed, that sort of thing. We've already been over the basic plan in the first one. But so today's episode we're going over the game plan. So Saturday morning we're into the first game. So we're starting the day off by getting into the battle sim.
Yes.
Establish teams, if we need to rebalance, that'll give us time to address it and all that good stuff. Now the morning's game is going to play a little bit more like a light skirmish.
Yeah, so it's going to be a pushback game.
Yeah, it's still going to establish the theme and all that good stuff. But essentially all we're trying to do is establish how strong each team is and whether we need to shuffle people around and get people sort of familiar with the site, warmed up and sort of G'd up ready for the Thunder games in the afternoon. We're not going to touch on them too much.
No, we've already been over that.
But essentially it's going to be a big pushback game. We might even throw in a bit of an objective in the morning, we'll see.
Yeah.
But we'll keep it as simple as possible, get people used to it. But the main sort of event for the battle sim side of it is going to be on the Sunday.
Yes.
So we've got some ideas, haven't we? Yeah. So 10 o'clock start, as you said.
10 o'clock start with a 4 o'clock finish, give people time to then get packed up and get on the road for a reasonable time.
Yes. And we'll start off with some of the ideas we've got for the games.
Yeah.
Now, we've not got it all written down in concrete yet, because if someone puts in the comments, maybe you could fit this theme in, or maybe this little thing, we don't mind switching things up. So put it in the comments below. But we've got some basic themes we're going to go over and what we're going to pick from, because if you're not already familiar with how we're doing the battle sim, it's going to be African bush war theme. So think Rhodesian brushstroke, lots of sort of olive drab stuff, janky kits, really posh kits. But I will specify there's no fixed dress code.
No. So if you turn up in your generic multicam loadout that you want, that you wear, that's what you've got. That's totally fine. Yeah. The theme is there for people who want to get into it and want to dress up. If we do advise it. If you not advise, but if you're welcome to come up in and get something that's bush war related, that's fantastic. Yeah. But if you have just like your multicam kit or your multicam black kit or whatever you would normally wear, that is still okay.
Yeah. Also, I will specify as well, because I've been asked this question last Clash. Is there mag rules, anything like that? No, it's a free-for-all. If you want to bring an AAP with a drum mag, that's fine. You'll look like the sore thumb in the crowd, but that's completely fine by us. If you want to come in full spandex, you'll really fucking hurt and you'll probably be a little bit cold, but again, fill your boots. It's just a case of we're doing this theme for those who want to take part, and it makes for better pictures as well. On that note, we are going to have photographers at some point during the day, so there'll be plenty of those going up as well. Now, let's get into some of the themes we're sort of cherry picking from, and the themes are going to be movie based.
Yeah, which about 5 minutes prior I found out that Courtney has not watched hardly any of these films.
No, I'm going to be perfectly honest, bit of an admission. I don't watch that many movies. I watch a few, and war movies, weirdly, I know I should really, being that I do this sort of stuff, they've never really been that much of a thing for me. I'm more of a sci-fi kind of thing. But that's just me. I like anything sci-fi or old school, Lord of the Rings, anything like that. But yeah, when it comes to war movies, I'm probably going to get educated a little bit today myself. But some of the themes, we'll start off with one of the themes. So Blood Diamond.
Blood Diamond, everyone's favourite.
Yes. Now, and I will watch it soon, I promise.
Yeah,
By all
yeah,
means,
yeah.
abuse me in the comments. I'm a piece of shit, I'm aware. But yeah, one of the games we're going to be doing is a diamond mine.
Yeah, so one of the objectives throughout the whole thing will be conflict diamonds and diamond mine.
Yeah.
Heavily drawing from that blood diamond aesthetic
Yeah.
and storyline.
Yeah, it's something we've been, certainly I've been itching to do, that sort of African bush war theme. So we may as well get as many cool references from the movies as possible. So Blood Diamond being one. Now, Saxon actually had a good idea, surprisingly.
Surprisingly.
Love you, Sax. Anyway, one of the ideas he came up with was we get little boxes of diamonds, right? And let's say Hilltop Fort, for instance. And we get a couple of shovels, and we bury these little boxes of diamonds, only about a foot deep, nothing serious. We'll loosen the ground up. We'll bury these in the ground. We'll put shovels in the ground near the holes, so we don't have to play dig with your hands and ruin your gloves. And then we're going to set up a small deck charge down the hill and get jawed to. Now, the idea is you go to the Blood Diamond owner with a suitcase of fake cash, pay for the blood diamonds, then you've got to then detonate the hillside to loosen the rock, dig up the diamonds, get the diamonds in the car, get them to your extraction. Simple games like that where you're actively fighting off an attack from an opposing team whilst digging for diamonds. I think it'd be a quite unique little twist on it. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's pissing it down with rain and you're digging in clay, we'll make sure they're just set in the ground slightly. We'll not be complete dickheads. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to piss it down this year.
Yeah.
But that will be sort of taken from the Blood Diamond theme. We can also have like a bit of a role-playing person there who's going to be the owner, so he can sort of give you a bit of beef while you're trying to buy stuff, and it should be good fun. Obviously, all this time there's going to be sort of running regens. It's not going to be Medic Dead. We'll probably have just like a set regen game.
Set regens, hit and back to respawn. It's fairly simple.
Yeah.
Not going to complicate it too much with that. Well, I've medic you and medic this and medic that. Just hit and respawn.
So that's what one of the objectives we've had the idea of, with help. And just to clarify as well, because I want to nip this in the bud early, there's going to be a WhatsApp group running with the running objectives. So if you're confused at any point, there'll be a QR code to scan at the start of the day. You join that group, and then all the objectives will go up there. So it should be nice and straightforward. We'll also have a printed objective list, not necessarily with times, but if you ask about, you'll know where to go and roughly what the objective is as well. Yeah,
it's worth mentioning as well that we will have commanders, loosely commanders, who will be your team's go-to points. So say if you don't take your phone out with you and you're on your way back to your harbour area, your sort of fob to get a drink or something, and you want to know what the next objective is, commander will be there. You just ask him. He'll say, it's this now, and in X amount of time, it's the next objective.
Yeah, we're essentially going to deploy as much stuff as we can to make sure people know what's going on. Because that was a weak point of last year's game, which we've now addressed because we like to keep things fresh, make sure they're running nice and smooth. And there's also something else I'm going to mention later in the podcast that's worth listening in for. So we've gone over Blood Diamond. I think that's a really cool theme, and I promise I'll watch the movie. But the next thing I want to go over is cobalt mines.
Cobalt mines,
yes. Bit of a spicier topic, I admit, but it's essentially going to play much like the Blood Diamond game, where you're going to have to dig up cobalt. There'll be a bit of surface cobalt, and that'll be in a different location. I was thinking Uplink Station, or maybe even gravel pits, somewhere like that, where you've got to go there, secure the location, detonate the hillside. It could just be a few bangs and pops, doesn't have to be anything serious. Get your cash there as well. So let's say Team 1 secures a suitcase of cash, then they've got to get that cash over to the location, give it the owner, who's going to be dressed up in his full regalia, hopefully, and then you can extract said stuff. Soon as the cash is handed over to the owner of the mine, doesn't matter what team gets that stuff, because he's got his cash, he's happy. So you've got to then extract said cobalt, get it back to your fob, and then that will be a point to your team. Nice and simple. We'll probably, insert a few little side objectives just to keep things fresh.
Yeah, so they'll like most games in Uptide, there'll be stuff going on the sidelines where, if you've just come back from that location, you don't fancy walking all the way back there, or you don't fancy going back to that fight, there'll be plenty of other little stuff going on throughout the whole weekend that you can just dip into during the game.
Yeah, that's the one thing we're trying to do as well, is keep it as simple as possible. Because yes, it's a battle sim, but I want it to be a battle sim light. Stay away from the mil sim side, but I want people to be able to get involved and have enough fun. You'd almost be able to treat it like a very, very, very weak version of an introduction to a battle sim.
Yeah.
With a cool theme, and we'll be able to run it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone over the Cobalt Mines. Let's go over to Siege of Jadotville.
Yes, it's one of your picks, one of your films. You know more. Probably
Yeah,
more
well,
about
it's I'll not go too deep into the lore. I highly suggest you watch it as a movie. It's one of the movies I have watched. It's fantastic. It's basically the Irish peacekeeper, UN peacekeepers. Mm-hmm. Essentially, long story short, have to hold a village against a load of militia. Is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, like foreign legion fights and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah. It's a very. If you want some ideas for kit choices, things like that for this event, it's an excellent source. The same with the other movies. We'll go over that shortly. But Siege of Jadotville, it's essentially going to play like a attack and defend of an area, but we can name it Siege of Jadotville. There's a bit more of a theme to it, and we can do it that way.
Yeah.
Because if you've not already noticed, we're going to try and name certain objective parts of the game and points in the day after a bit of a movie, so people can sort of reference that, and it's just a bit more fun.
You kind of get the vibe as well.
Yeah. Again, like we've said, we've already gone over Siege of Jadotville, but if you've got a movie suggestion that we haven't seen and or don't suggest, by all means put it in the comments, because we're open to suggestions. The more the merrier. We'll probably add a few more after this, because we've got a couple of months yet before it's even really into the bones of it and people have started to really get booking. Mm-hmm. So yeah, plenty of time yet. But so far we've gone over Blood Diamond, we're going over the Cobalt Mines. Mm-hmm. Again, another extraction game.
Yep.
Not extraction like drag someone out, but extracting stuff. And then the Siege of Jadotville, which is going to be a bit more of an attack and defend.
Yep. That would probably play quite well into the pushback game on the Saturday. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sort of half tempted to keep the Siege of Jadotville game purely on a Sunday, so we can fill out the Sunday with some solid games and keep that pushback game as just simple as possible. Yeah. We can find something that'll work for it, I'm sure. Now, the final movie, which is one you suggested, is Wild Geese.
Oh, it's one of my favourite movies there. Yeah.
So, do you want? We're nearly at that stage, because this is sort of the themed ideas we've had almost finished with. So, I think what we'll do is we'll go over the idea behind Wild Geese and how it will play into it's a person extraction game, essentially. VIP extraction. VIP extraction. And then we'll go into the kit and a bit of the plot synopsis of the movies, just a rough one, because obviously I'm not super clued up on these things. Yeah. And also we'll put links and we'll throw some pictures up as well while we're talking about it, so you can get an idea. Yeah. So Wild Geese, great film. Sort of like I think 70s, 80s sort of action flick. Roger Moore, Richard Burton, mercenaries in Africa extracting a president that's been locked up. Really good movie. Lots of oozes, lots of fouls. Really good. Watch it. Okay, so that's one thing I'm looking forward to, is all the people who are really getting into the kit will bring all the weird period guns out that you just don't tend to see at skirmishes. Yeah. Things like bolters. We might even see a Bren.
Maybe.
If Raresoft gets him over in time, or if he's not already got some in, I don't know. If you do want a Bren, actually go check out Raresoft, because he can get some really weird and wonderful guns, i.e.
Just don't buy the one that I'm going to buy.
Yeah, because he'll feel weird then. Yeah, just buy them. Buy all of them, because then he'll feel dead sad. Basically, you want a Viva Arms Bren, don't you?
I do, yeah.
What's the loadout you're doing with that, before we get too into Wild Geese?
Roadie brushstrokes, Viva Arms Bren, South African assault vest, and just going at it. Get some cool aviator-like glasses and just charge at people with a Bren gun.
That's one thing I want to look into, whether you can get airsoft rated aviators. That'd be cool.
I'm pretty sure you can.
That'd be cool.
Them. Yeah. I'll make them.
we need to make this happen. So Wild Geese, so they're basically extracting a dude from
a dude from a prison, and then sort of getting him back across the border to safety. It's a really good film. It's fantastic. I think it's on YouTube. Actually thinking about it.
So how are we going to play that into a game then? So it's essentially going to be a VIP extraction.
Yeah. So the way I'm thinking about doing it is, the OPLA will already have the VIP in a set location, and it'll be their objective to hold to hold the VIP until index, basically. So probably aim that to be one of the last objectives of the day, so that it makes sense.
Yep.
If you can hold on to the VIP till index, you get that point for your team. It's the job of the Bro Legions to go and get him out.
Yeah. We might also, I was sort of chewing over, maybe one team can attack another team's area, which can be an ammo dump, as part of like a 2-stage fallback game.
Yeah.
So my thought pattern was both teams have, the attacking team on the first stage can have unlimited regens, and then the defending team is medic and dead. They have to then fall back to the next location.
Yeah.
That first location could be an ammo dump. We can set off a couple of bangs. Nothing expensive. We don't want to go too overboard. And then the second place they fall back to is hit and dead.
Yeah.
Might be a nice simple game we can turn around. And then we can tie that into the next game, etc., etc.
Yeah. Like I said, it's all still a work in progress, and we'll, by the time it comes around, it'll all be ironed out and nice and neat.
Yeah.
But like Connie said, if you've got any ideas, if you've got any cool movies that we might have missed, please put them in the comments and we'll pour over them.
Yeah. I mean, the objective with this particular episode is us giving you an idea of what we're planning, so you can get excited for the event, because we want people to really get excited for this, because I'm really looking forward to this. I think it's going to be quite a cool theme.
Yeah.
It's not something I've seen in the UK yet. I might be wrong, but I've not seen a bush war theme yet.
No, that's just I think.
And I just want more ideas, basically. I want to keep the game as simple as possible, but as fun as possible. This is why I've introduced the Thunderdome, the shooting comp, and all these other things. We've also got the night game, Saturday night, which we must mention, really.
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about gameplay.
Yeah, I don't think the night game will be particularly themed.
No, this will be just a free-for-all.
This will be free for all. If you want to play it, meet down the car park. We'll divide you into 2 teams. We'll go out and smash each other.
Yeah. Have you any thoughts on how we're going to structure that?
Yeah, I'm thinking. What I found in that game is keep it simple, stupid. So it'll be a case of we'll go to a location. Don't really want to do too much moving around at night, especially because not everyone's got night vision. Excuse me. But we'll go to one location and we'll probably do a bit of an attack and defend, or some sort of, what the attacking side will have to complete so many objectives, and then we'll flip it around and reverse it.
Yeah, that's nice.
One thing I will preface as well, which we sort of do at Uptech, is that the night vision players won't all be grouped together.
Yeah.
They spread evenly amongst both sides, so it's not it's not overly unfair on one side.
So we've gone over a bit of the gameplay. We've gone over some of the movie themes. Let's talk about the movie theme of Blood Diamond.
Yes.
So what are people going to be expecting to see kit-wise from Blood Diamond inspired loadouts?
Blood Diamond inspired loadouts for me is M81, sort of DPM, sort of very 90s, lots of carry handles, lots of just webbing chest rigs, and a bit of like South African assault vests, that kind of theme. AKs, RPKs, stuff like that.
Now the bad guys in that movie, it was the militia or whatever it be.
Yeah, the it escapes me, but the Sierra Leone.
What sort of kit are they running? Are they running sort of like a standard t-shirt, shorts?
Yeah, just sort of like, especially militia wise, you want jeans, t-shirts, football shirts, just nice and easy, just what you would wear.
Yeah.
Every day today. Obviously, like we said before, if you've not got that and that's not something you would wear to play airsoft in, that's completely fine. There's nothing stopping you being on the OPLA or the militia side for the event and wearing your full multicam rig. We will have armbands for each side just to make it easier. But yeah, the majority, that sort of militia ragtag.
Yeah.
Nothing too.
I mean, I suppose if you're going, so let's round this off. So the Rhodesians, which is one team, obviously based loosely around the Rhodesian conflict. So Rhodesian brushstroke, if you want, you can just get sort of normal green kit if you really fancied it. If you want to go down this route of getting a kit put together, again, if you want to turn up in multicam, fill your boots. But if you're going down that Rhodesian look, you can go the shorts route. You can there's plenty of sources for Rhodesian kit now. You could go down the general OD green, and you've got plenty of choice, haven't you? Really?
I think Rhodesia being an ex sort of British territory, I want to say, or maybe
loosely
British. What do you want to call it? Inclined territory.
Yeah, it was started that way.
Yeah, you've got a lot of British stuff in there as well. You've got a lot of British webbing. You've got a lot of post World War II British kit. You've got a lot of post-war British weapons and stuff like that. So there's a lot you can do with it.
Yeah, there's a lot. All you've got to do is type it online. You'll see some really cool shit. Like one of my favorite. What's your favorite weapon from that conflict? That's an interesting one.
Oh god, I mean, you can't go wrong with the FAL. But I feel like everyone would choose a FAL. I mean, I love Sterling's, great little submachine gun. I like the Thompson with the drum mag on top.
Oh Christ, that's a good one. I know which one you mean as well.
Chamberlain 2.2.
Yes, I know which one you mean.
That's really cool. I can't.
Didn't they use it for crowd control? It was designed for crowd control.
For crowd control.
There's a video on that on I think it's Brandon Herrera's channel.
Yeah.
He did one.
Or like a roadie chopped RPK.
Yeah, roadie chopped RPK for me every time. That is a look.
Hell yeah.
I've seen a few of those. You don't see many about, and it would really pain me to chop one, but it's worth it for the finished product.
100%.
Isn't it?
Massively, yeah.
So.
Oh, is it an RPD, isn't it? RPK.
Yes, of course.
RPD.
Sorry, I don't know what I'm bloody saying.
Belford. No, it's mad. Yeah.
Everyone's going to slate us in the comments now. Oh, I don't know. Anyway.
It's an AK. To me, it's just an AK.
OPLA kind of kit. OPLA. Obviously, we've brushed over like if you want to go really basic, but if you want to go overboard.
Yeah, you mean just like generic woodland camo, you know.
Red berets.
Lots of red berets.
Red berets. Oof, red berets everywhere.
Yeah.
Lots and lots and lots of medals and rank badges that mean nothing, but they've been sewn on for fun.
Yeah. Aviators.
Yes.
Yeah. But don't just wear aviators. What's the Ghanaian mechs, whatever they are?
So a while ago, the Ghanaian military did this parade where I don't know if it was a spoof they did or if they were being deadly serious, but I think they watched that. Is it Tomorrow War with
Edge of Tomorrow?
Edge of Tomorrow,
yeah.
And went, we're going to make that but out of cardboard. I'll throw a picture up. If you want to dress as that, by all means, you'll get credit from me. But yeah, for me, I reckon if I'm going OPLA, I might not yet. I'll see. It's going to be a red beret, M81, something like that, and go for that sort of cool look. But
you
it's still like you look like a
with a blue shirt and lots of ribbons and the rope things that go
just bad guy vibes.
Bad guy vibes. Yeah.
Bad guy vibes. Properly.
Think Warlord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it worth maybe doing something like a prize for the most themed loadout per team?
Yeah, we'll do one each. Yeah. One for the Rhodesians.
That's your motivation.
Yeah.
Obviously, staff and people can't win it.
Yeah. I'll throw some BBs in.
Yeah. Each side will do a prize for the best themed loadout.
That's a good shout, actually. We'll do that.
Yeah. That's
a good shout indeed. So we've gone over the kit. Weapons. What will you be running? You want to run the Viva Arms brand, but realistically...
If I can get one, the Viva Arms brand, or it will be Blood Diamond inspired Car 15 or something, I think. And just lie around going, yeah, and just start shooting people.
Do I baby poo camo my FAL?
Yes.
It's tempting.
Baby poo
severely tempting.
Yeah.
That'll limit to what team I can go on. I'll see. I might do both. I might just take. You know what? I might take both kits. So if we're short on numbers on Sunday, whatever it might be, I can just switch out.
Yeah.
That might be a good.
The shortest Rhodesian shorts I can find.
If you can afford to, I strongly suggest you bring both kits. You know, enough, at least something ragtag put together on the cheap if you want to go with one team and not the other. Have a spare kit if you can. Just because I think what might happen is I've got a strange feeling get a lot of people rocking up in roadie kit. We might not, but we might.
Yeah.
And then we've got to split the teams and it's going to get a bit confusing. There will be armbands.
Yeah, I think we're going to red and blue, aren't we?
Yeah.
Nice, bright colours. I think last time we had a bit of a mishap using green.
Yeah, I think it was it blue and green? And then in certain light, the blue looked green.
Yeah.
Just something you couldn't prepare for. But then again, now we know. So we'll probably go red and blue. But one thing that we haven't covered is backpacks and shit. Now, we have to say this every time we talk about OpTac. It's a fantastic site. It's a big site.
Bring water.
Backpack is required. Even if it's just a cheap backpack that doesn't fit with your look and your kit that you can leave at your fob. Now, we're going to have water at every fob and every village and location, and in the vehicles we will make sure there's some water there because it's cheap enough for us just to go, hydrate, here's some water, drink it, and then go play.
Yeah.
Because even when we warned people for last clash, people were still, Yeah,
I think there's one guy on the Sunday who, had a bit of a funny do.
Yeah,
So it was warm.
it's something that's really required. There will be drink and food vendors on site, so there'll be a proper food van, at least minimum one. We'll try and get a couple if there's enough numbers. Obviously, I don't want to dilute it if we haven't got 300 people. But there's going to be plenty of food and drink vendors, but take food and water out with you. We're going to go further into that in a second. We're going to take a brief pause. And we're back. So we just mentioned, obviously, there's going to be food and water available at the vendors as well as on the site shop. Optac's going to have its shop open, plus all the vendors that are coming. There's going to be loads to buy, so don't forget to go check out all the vendors if you want to buy kit as well. There's going to be loads of that, hopefully. Now, what I want to do is actually cover what we'd recommend you take out with you in a backpack.
Yes.
So let's go over the Sunday. So we're not going to worry about the Saturday because that's going to pretty much be covered in the Sunday's kit.
Yeah. Saturday's going to be a bit more chilling. There's going to be a lot more smaller things going on, so you will have time to... You're not going to wear yourself out as much on the Saturday.
Yeah.
But for Sunday, key thing, water.
Yeah.
Keep stressing it.
So if we're talking normal bottles of water, how many bottles do you reckon you'd take?
I'd take out the big ones anyway, but smaller ones, I reckon you'd be good with at least 3 of the small bottles of water, 3 500
minimum.
Waters,
Yeah.
There'll be water scattered around, but when you drink to thirst.
I mean, it's not expensive. Just buy yourself a 6-pack of water, chuck it in your backpack.
Yeah, you don't have to take all 6 out with you.
I mean, you could. There's nothing. Yeah, you could.
Depending on how big your backpack is.
Yeah, you could chuck them in your backpack, take them out to the fob, leave it at the fob. If you're thirsty and you're near it, make sure you've got one on your person, and leave the rest at the fob.
Yeah.
Obviously, your team commander in loose terms, is going to be at the fob, making sure no one rummages through shit. So it's pretty obvious nothing's going to get stolen. Hopefully,
and your commanders will be constantly on you to be drinking water.
Yeah.
And we all love a Monster, but Monster does
it's not going to fucking hydrate, Now let's go over food and snacks.
Food and snacks, yeah. I mean, food vendors will have that covered off, and as much as we can all eat rat packs and meal deals.
Yeah, we're not going to be encouraging
like
people to get the Hexi burner out on site.
No, yeah, nothing's better than a nice burger.
Yeah, bring a bit of cash, get yourself some proper decent scran while you're out there. Just nip back, get food, proper decent food, so you're not burning yourself out calorie wise. Because there's nothing worse on a Sunday after a full weekend event. You're burnt out, the game starts to fizzle out on a Sunday afternoon because everyone hasn't hydrated properly and they haven't eaten properly. Snacks though, you can take snacks out with you, obviously.
Encourage it.
What would you recommend? I'd probably say beef jerky, biltong, something. May as well get into the
jerky,
theme. Biltong, drive horse, everything.
Beef jerky, protein bars. Just quick calories. Quick calories, just something that'll give you a perk of energy when you need it. Some Skittles. You know what I mean?
Yeah, emergency Skittles,
easy,
trail mix, something basic.
Try to avoid chocolate. It might be a bit warm, and you don't want to be frubing a chocolate bar out of the packet.
Frubing a chocolate bar in the corner.
But yeah, things like Skittles, Haribo, Maralibo, stuff like that. Just something that when you get back, I mean, I like to take out like a bag of Haribos in the mini bags, and if I've got 2 seconds, just quickly bang it.
Yeah. I will say, just please be careful of littering everywhere.
Yeah. That is one thing that gets my bug. Really gets my goat actually at Optec is you'll come back after a sim one weekend and there's just litter everywhere, and we're going to make a bit of an effort to have rubbish bags at the fobs.
We'll try and ensure each vehicle has a rubbish bag, so if we see any, or you've got some rubbish in your pockets, go to a vehicle, just pop the rubbish in the vehicle even if it hasn't got a bin bag.
I mean, I'm guilty sometimes. I'll leave something on the side and forget about it, and
it happens.
You're there next sim and a bag of quavers just.
Yeah, we're not playing in India. It's we've all seen.
Nice.
Yeah, we've all seen that game online where you can go drop down onto Street View and look for a place without rubbish. We're not trying to do that. We like to keep the site clean for the sake of pictures as well. If you come dressed in your full kit and you want to look cool and there's just a bag of Haribo behind you, it's going to look a bit rough, isn't it? So it's just basics.
Empty pasta pot.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Something then that when you have to clean up, and you get sauce every hand. It's just
So take food out with you. If you want to get fully into the weeds of getting fully immersed just for laughs, I'd suggest going to Sussman's, Best Beef Biltong. They do biltong, drive horse, all the different sort of African snacks you can get, which is kind of cool. And to be perfect, that is something like biltong or beef jerky. It's very high in protein, a little bit of salt in it. As long as you've got plenty of water down you, it's really good for when you're out and about and you're actually travelling doing work, rather than just a cereal bar, which is just a shitload of carbs. So if you fancy that, go check it out. I'll put a link in the description. Why not?
Why not?
If you guys have any suggestions for good snacks while you're out there, and I mean decent snacks, not just Monster, put it in the comments below.
Monster and a Rothmans.
Yeah, or a Gonster, Guinness Monster mix. Just but yeah, we've gone over food. One thing that I think we need to mention that I didn't really go over with you in the last podcast was camping kit.
Yes.
What should you bring? How you should prepare. Now, obviously, we're moving away from the game a little bit, but let's go into that.
I mean, yeah, not a too exhaustive list, but a tent.
Yeah, tent at minimum. If you're not renting a glamping pod, they are available.
Glamping pod's very Gucci, very nice.
You can share them with how many people can you fit in a glamping pod realistically?
You can fit 4 in the glamping pod. There's a double bed, and then there's 2 little singles. So if you're happy snuggling up with somebody, that most of us are.
Yeah, you want to snuggle with the boys.
4 people can camp. If you not want to snuggle up to people, 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you have 4 people, it's cheaper for you. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to stop you for 5 if you try and chip in for a glamping pod and one of you squishes onto the floor. That's fine.
Yeah.
It'd be nice and warm,
But
comfortable.
Don't take the piss.
Yeah, just don't take the piss and ram it with 15 people and then wonder why everyone gets hurt in the morning.
Yeah. But bare minimum tent. I know one time at Uptech, luckily this had been the summer, but this was like September, October time. I was driving down to the safe zone in the morning after sleeping and just saw this, what I can only describe as a tarp laid across the top of 2 sleeping bags in a field of just morning mist. And
Moisture.
I genuinely thought we were going to have 2 dead bodies of exposure in the morning. I was genuinely concerned.
Yeah, I mean, look, be prepared. It's always prepare for the worst, hope for the best with the weather. Bring a decent warm sleeping bag. If you're going to get too hot in a winter sleeping bag, just unzip it.
Unzip it, one leg out.
Yeah, one leg out, as is tradition. Don't bring a cold ass sleeping bag. That's a summer rated one, especially in the UK. Even in midsummer, it can still drop cold at night. Obviously, make sure you're prepared. Extra clothes, set of trackies. Set of trackie bottoms,
Comfies,
trousers, something comfy.
Get out. It's
Hoodie.
nice. It's just nice to get out your kit after a day of that stuff.
An hoodie goes a long way. Tracky bottoms, thick socks, hoodie. You can just crawl into your sleeping bag if you're cold. Sound.
Yeah.
Ideal.
Exactly. We can have, upset, we can have fire pits as long as they're not on the grass.
Yeah.
So obviously if you're camping on the grass field, find a bit of hard standing, bring your chair. We will have a fire going in the middle anyway.
Yeah, we'll have a couple of fires going, hopefully near the beer area.
Yeah. But stuff like that. Wash kit, luckily at Upset we've got I think the best facilities ever at an ISF site.
Yeah, to be fair, if you're renting that
toilets.
area, proper decent King's Thrones.
Yeah, King Thrones, hot showers. Bring your kit. Don't be a scruff. Get a shower.
Yeah, get a wash. It's going to cost you nothing to get a wash.
Yeah,
we'll be perfectly clear. So we rent out the wedding venue that's attached to the site for events. So the wedding venue's got proper men's and women's toilets. And in there's proper cubicles and a heated building, and there's showers with privacy curtains and all that sort of stuff, so you can have a individual shower. And there's proper sinks so you can brush your teeth so your breath doesn't stink like ass. Yeah. Everything's there, so come kitted up as if you're going camping with the family. The camping area itself, because I've been asked this question a few times, is a very flat, very soft field. It's not waterlogged. It's a good field to camp in, so it's ideal. You can't pull vehicles onto it, but you can bring your camper van or whatever it might be, a big camper van, I don't care how big it is, and just park it in the car park. It's enormous. There's plenty of space.
Yeah. There'll be an offloading area as well, so that if you want to come in your car, quickly ditch your tent and your bags, park up, walk back. There'll be someone there, so your stuff will be safe. You're not leaving it unattended.
Yeah. Now, going over the fire pits just briefly again, if you want to set up a fire near your camping area, before you light it, just come and find a marshal. There'll be plenty of us knocking about just to say, are you happy with this? It takes 30 seconds to find us. Just shout marshal, we'll come running, and we'll say either that's fine or that's next to your tent, you fucking idiot. It's that simple. It's the simple stuff. For the sake of health and safety, for insurance on the site, just let us check it over first. We're going to be pretty chill about it, but
it's just the rules of the site as well. No fire on the grass. It's a lovely area, the wedding venue, and quite rightly so. The owners don't want sports marks.
Keyword here is it's a wedding venue we're renting, so we can't just have rubbish dumped everywhere and fire burn marks on the grass. On the note of rubbish, bring a bin bag with your camping kit. So bring your tent, a decent underlayer, So like a futon or just something to keep the cold from the ground getting to you. A decent pillow, sleeping bag, that sort of kit. Bit of food if you don't want to get from the vendors, but I please support the vendors. You know, they've taken a big risk to come out and help us with our event. And if we can support them, we'll get them back again next year, and it's good food. So just spend a bit of money if you can.
I mean, bacon sandwiches more as well.
Yeah,
Like,
bossing.
Bacon sausage sandwich before you step off.
Cup of coffee and a bacon sarnie in the morning.
Yeah, set you up.
But yeah, just be sensible with how you're packing. Don't just bring a tarp and a sleeping bag that's rated for summer and then leave Sunday morning because you're piss wrapped and you're freezing cold.
Yeah.
Again, you can go and dry kit if you need to in the toilet area if you're fucking freezing cold and whatnot. That room is heated all night. So if you're freezing cold because you've underprepared like an idiot, either come find a marshal because there'll be someone up probably pissed late at night, but we'll do our best to come and help. We're here to help, that's the point. Yeah. But again, you can go get a warm in the toilets, that sort of thing. There'll be fires going till late.
And there'll be staff working throughout the night. Yeah. There will be somebody around if you need something.
Yeah, I joke about being pissed, but there will be a sober member of staff at all times, don't worry.
Probably.
Possibly.
Probably.
We'll see. Get you half a bottle of tequila down you and watch you pass out in a ditch. But yeah, I think the camping side of it's pretty squared away now.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that we haven't mentioned yet is vendors. Now, I think we briefly mentioned it in the last podcast, but it's something I want to get a little bit more into. So if you've got a big or a small airsoft company, it doesn't even necessarily have to be airsoft related.
No.
And you want to rent a stand, you can go onto the website and book a stall. The stalls are cheap and there's no limit on size.
No.
Now, we learnt that lesson last year because one thing we did was put a size limit on, and not everyone has a gazebo or a setup that particular size. So if there's no size limit, bring as big or as small a setup as you want. Please just let us know in advance. Once you're booked, let us know in advance, I have an X by X thing, can you make sure I've got a space? Yep, that's fine. There'll be parking for the vendors next to the stalls, or at least a chuck's distance, you know what I mean? Last year we had it so the main car park was sort of separated from the vendors' car park, so they could just take the barrier down and go to the stalls easy and unload kit. Now, the one thing we have a bit of a rule on is don't come selling BBs and pyro without previously having a discussion with Rob, who's the site owner of Optac, Staffordshire Militaria, because obviously that's his bread and butter. He's got the site shop. If you do want to sell them, just have a conversation with him first. That's all I ask. That's the only limiting factor we're placing on this. As far as second-hand sales and whatnot goes, so if you're just Joe Blogs and you want to sell your ex second-hand thing, by all means just set it up anywhere, anytime. I'm going to actively encourage you to set it up though near the beer tent. So obviously people have had a skinful, they can have a little walk around the stall area and the second-hand area. There's no officially designated thing, but most of the foot traffic is going to be near the beer stand. One thing I will ask is you do not leave that stuff unattended for a period of time without asking a marshal. Just nip into the loo, would you mind watching my kit for 30 seconds? We don't mind that. But again, it should be painfully obvious, but obviously it's completely free. If you're booked on to come play, just come and sell your stuff as well. It's completely fine. Best times to sell stuff will probably be Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday lunch, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
That'll probably be the ideal spots. Obviously, if you're a vendor, by all means, if you guys want to get involved in the game, you'll have to. I'm going to ask you to book at least one of the days if some of your staff want to play, and then just get stuck in. We'll get you a team designated and organised, and we can go from there. So, anything more to add?
I think that's everything.
I think that's everything pretty well covered.
Yeah.
There's obviously going to be vehicles knocking around, so if anyone gets injured, we can ferry you out. That's one thing I haven't mentioned. And there will be battle taxis knocking about, moving people about, if you're worried about that sort of moving about the site. So I think that pretty much rounds this episode off quite nicely. If you have any questions or ideas or anything like that, please put it in the comments section below. I always do my due diligence and read the comments and reply where I can. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because without subscribing and liking the video, you're not going to get more of this and more updates on any events we do, or even just if you want to watch some autistic podcasts, that we do otherwise, which I apologise for. But yeah, that being that, I'll catch you all in the next episode. I look forward to seeing you all at Clash. And yeah, cheers, chaps. Hey folks, welcome to episode 35 of Nemcast. Today I'm joined by BT. Start again. Good start. Excellent start. Anyway.
Hi guys, I'm BT with Dead Drop Co. I am here at...
This is your fault, BT, because you're smiling at me, bastard. I don't know why it's your fault, but you're the closest one.
Bastard!
Bastard. Hey folks, welcome to episode 35 of Nemcast. Today I'm joined by BT, and we're going fuck. Hey folks, welcome to episode 35 of Nemcast. Today I'm joined by BT. We're going to be going over Nemcast. No, we're not. Fuck! Hey folks, welcome to episode 35 of Nemcast. Today we're joined by BT. We're going to be going over words in my mouth. Why can't I get words? I'm having a minute.